Okay, guys, let's just start with just grounding ourselves for a few moments. Why don't you all close your eyes? Just get comfortable wherever you are. Sit back, lean back, loosen the body, loosen your jaws. No tension anywhere. Relax your forehead. Just take all your attention into your belly. Just let your body rest however it wants to. And just observe the light movements of the belly. Just ground yourselves, feel where you are seated. Hear the distant voices and stay with that movement in your belly. Maintaining this composure, let's begin the show. We'll softly open our eyes.
That's a good way to start a show, man. And I
Yeah.
really like that. Dude, Jay, don't you feel ready?
I think
Jay.
we've lost Jay.
Oh,
You serious, bro?
I'm sorry. That was actually very calming.
I text Jay, 7th grade, meet me at the corner shop. He be in there in 10, ringing all the quarters up.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to Having Said That, episode 15. And for this episode, you know that Jay and I are into fitness. Amongst us, we've done CrossFit, we've done powerlifting, we've been in the gym. But today we have someone from a field that we know nothing about. And her name is Riya. She is a yoga practitioner. Welcome to the studio, Riya.
Hello.
How are you today?
I mean, I know Jay is very rested right now.
I am very relaxed.
Yeah, I'm good. How are you guys? How was your weekend?
It was good. I know that this is one of your first times on camera on a show.
It is. Yeah, I'm like trying to figure out which camera to look at.
That one's your camera.
Okay, great.
Yeah, it's so nice of you to come by. The reason we wanted to have you is, like we said, we're super into fitness, but we collectively have never ever been in the yoga space.
Yeah.
So
You practice like strength training and
I
everything,
practice strength training and breathing work, but I've literally, I may have done like 2 yoga classes in my entire life.
right? Oh no way.
And both of those classes, actually, I fell asleep. Because you know when they do like dead man's pose? That's the end of the class for
Shavasana,
me.
yeah.
That's the end of the class. So I just...
You
kind of-
pass out.
Yeah, I just pass out. That's my cue to go.
But yeah, so I mean, I'd love to know like, okay, because you're saying that I've been to 2 yoga classes or I've never
Yeah.
like attempted yoga, but you actually do practice breath work,
Yeah.
which is a very integral part of the yoga practice as
Yeah,
well. So you
yeah.
aren't completely new to it, even though you think you might be.
So I practice breath work in the sense of bracing. So when I have to create like intra-abdominal pressure, like how you told us in the intro to breathe with our bellies,
Yeah.
that is what I practice most of. So I don't
Right.
really do like in a calming sense. I kind of do it to stiffen my core and pretty much
To like
the
engage
opposite
different.
intention of
Yeah.
what it is.
yeah, I guess
Yeah.
it's a loose definition right now as well of yoga. Like we don't even know how you define it.
Yeah.
Would you like to explain that?
I may not be able to define it because I
Okay.
think that it's something. It's yoga is actually a state of being.
That's a
It's
very
not-
yogic answer. It's a very
Yeah, because I mean, I do yoga or I practice yoga. Like, they're very loosely thrown terms, like the way we talk about it today. But it's actually an entire lifestyle that you kind of choose to be a part of. And it's not only that, okay, going to a yoga class like twice a week makes you a yogi, or even if I'm able to stretch or if I'm able to do like a handstand or whatever, none of that qualifies as being a yogi. And none of us are actually like part-time yogis, and it's not something we do like, okay, are you like a full-time yogi or a part-time yogi? Like, it's not just that small definition.
So if we could actually pause and backtrack a little bit, I
Yeah.
want to ask you. So when we were doing research about this episode, we came across the fact that you went to an institute in Mysore to kind of learn the way you teach or the way you practice.
Okay, wait, I'm going to stop you again. It's
Okay.
not an institute.
Oh, it's not an institute? What
So
is
the
it?
thing is like yoga is still, because it's something that's been passed on, right, over the years, it's like the structure of the education system of yoga is still quite loose in India. The West has tried to structurize it a lot, and that is why you see like the super big rise happening of like, yoga as a career growing in the West, because it's actually been institutionalized.
Yeah.
In India, there are these shalas, there are these teachers who have learned over years different practices, which may or may not be even certified practices. But I think that's one advantage that like the India yoga teaching scenarios going through. Like it's something that they're actually evolving to, that we don't really need that accreditation or that certification from like these Western agencies.
Got it.
Like even your years of experience matter. And like if my teacher, he may not be like a certified guru, but he may be, because he's practiced for a certain number of years and because his knowledge comes from different lineages of practice, it might still be like worthwhile going, even if I'm not like getting like, okay, you're a master's in yoga, or like, okay, you're like a little
So
diploma
what is the
in
structure
yoga.
when you go to this? I don't know what to call it. Like
Yeah,
an
it's a
ashram?
shala. We call it a shala.
Okay.
A shala is like a place. So how you, it's a shala versus a studio. A studio is something where, you know, it's a very commercialized aspect. A shala is where it's very low on like the commercial aspects. It's like you're paying a minimum fee.
Got it.
Your food is included, your stay is included. You're living a very basic life, you know, and you live there as if you're actually living there. You're not just there to study, but you're there to like embody that whole experience. So we go there. There are a lot of shalas in Mysore. Like there are a lot of schools, you know, from different teachers and things like that. So I've been going there since 2019.
Okay.
So I go there, I stay there for like a month or so. I experience it. I'm like studying there. I'm learning there. I'm practicing there. I'm like having conversations with like people who are like-minded. Yeah. And I think that's what makes it more holistic rather than just like going in, okay, I'm like certified and now I'm good to go.
That sounds so fun, dude. Imagine if we had like a space where we could just go and hang out with people who do the
Yeah.
same things we love.
Yeah, man. I mean, I usually go to the gym, but yeah. So do you teach yoga when you go back to this? Like, do you become like a teacher? Does it become
Yeah.
like this entire ecosystem of students who come there, leave, practice on their own, come back
So
and kind of share
when I'm
everything?
there, I'm a student.
Okay.
Like I'm not teaching there.
Always?
Always. I'm
Okay.
always a student
Okay.
there. So, and I think that's why I keep going back.
Yeah,
Because like
yeah.
I'm teaching here, so I feel like, okay, you know, I need to like fill my own cup and introspect. And yeah, when I'm here, I'm teaching and I'm also studying. And I mean, I feel like with being in this field, actually in any field where it involves the body and the mind, and I'm sure you relate to,
Yeah.
you need to keep learning
Yeah,
because there's
definitely.
no end.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's always like learning about it, introspecting, your experiences change and how
Yeah.
you feel about it keeps changing.
Yeah, definitely. Like I've definitely held some beliefs that maybe like 2-3 years in the future, I've like, okay, that was completely
Yeah.
wrong and I need to kind of retool my entire
Yeah.
thinking process, right? So what are some of the things that you would consider, you know, I know Aditya was telling me that you think the West has kind of taken over yoga and it has kind of
You know,
lost.
before you even answer that question, I think this would lead us perfectly into our controversial opinion question
Okay.
because that might be one of it.
Yeah.
But we like to ask our guests what their most controversial opinion is, preferably in their field. Do you have one?
Maybe not a controversial opinion, but like a strong opinion,
Okay.
is that as someone, and this is something I have personally felt attacked by. So that's why I really
Okay.
hold this strongly. I feel like there's like this disbelief that, you know, if you practice yoga or if you have yoga in your life, you are like nothing can happen to you, nothing can touch you. Like you can never get diseases, you can never fall sick, you can
Oh.
never have anxiety,
okay,
you can never
okay.
be angry, you can never have reactions, you can never get COVID. So if I, for example, have fallen sick, what do I hear from like people around me? But you practice so much yoga, how can you fall sick? And I'm just like, fuck you.
Are you allowed to have anxiety as like
Are
a
you allowed
yoga
to say it?
practitioner?
Yeah,
You're not allowed to do that.
My mind should be completely clear.
Yeah.
So am I allowed to have these things? But no, like I'm still living in a city. I'm still living like anyone else. It's just that
Yeah.
practicing this gives me something to go back to, even though I'm going to face all these things. It's
Yeah.
life. Like
Yeah.
I'm not changed the pattern of my life, right?
Okay,
yeah, that's
just for the
something.
sake of controversy, I would argue that having people believe that those things are true may result in better business for you. Like in terms of
It
people who
would.
want to
It
learn.
really would. And I
As
mean, that's
yoga
what Baba
reduces
Ramdev
stress,
does.
anxiety, and you won't get COVID if
You won't get
do
COVID. That's good.
Yeah, like because I mean, COVID, like people promoted, yeah, immunity boosting classes. Like that's
No
bullshit.
way.
Like
No way.
Yeah.
Did they do it in person or online?
online immunity
yeah.
boosting
Man,
group
that's
classes.
crazy,
We
dude.
do
That's
this, and
crazy.
you know, and I honestly think it's all bull. And I think like a lot of people have like mispropagated this as well. And there are a lot of like faces we all know about in like common media. And like, you know, your parents might be watching them on YouTube. That,
Yeah.
oh, I saw this video of XYZ and he was doing this and you won't get kidney stones if you do this. And that's not how it works.
Well, on this tone of controversial opinions, when I was talking to Jay about this, of course he's had very limited yoga experience, but he wanted to ask you a few questions about strength as it relates with his powerlifting versus yoga. So Jay, go for it.
Yeah, when we spoke, I kind of wanted to understand your views on. So when you practice yoga, do you only do yoga? Because
So-
when I strength train, right, sometimes flexibility and too much like body movement can actually hurt you because you're supposed to stay so rigid and so tight. But you are encouraged to kind of get slightly flexible, but it's two completely different, studies.
Mm.
So how would you approach that?
So that's the thing. I completely disagree with that.
Mhm.
Because I feel like I think this is another aspect of like because it's been so popularized. Like, see, the thing is, yoga is actually not a physical thing, right? But how can you make it tangible by the poses?
Mhm.
So if I'm doing a certain pose, that's how I can give like a tangible reference that hey, I do yoga.
Yeah.
And I think
Oh,
yeah, like
got it.
because the other part of it is not tangible at all.
Yeah.
And I think that's exactly why this whole, like a lot of yogis, I mean, sorry, I'm not going to call them yogis, a lot of asana practitioners have a lot of injuries,
Okay.
go through a lot of joint problems, and they actually go through a lot of surgeries because of over flexibility. And that's something which I'm completely against.
Okay.
Mhm.
I feel like yoga or the asana part of it is not to reach your best or deepest flexible stage.
Mhm.
It's more about like being aware and being free. So, for example, if right now we all, and I think it's also making the practice adaptable.
Yeah.
Like right
Yeah.
now, if we all sit like 8 hours a day, right? Approximately, we're seated.
Pretty much.
So, if I'm going on the mat, I want to release that instead of trying to reach like a split.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe that's
that's why the
the
strength-
disconnect
yeah.
that comes, right? Because yoga
For
probably
sure.
isn't only about stretching and flexibility. It's more about like
Exactly.
just kind of grounding yourself.
And I feel
So-
like it's very important for people, you know, people say that, okay, if you practice yoga, you shouldn't be practicing anything else. That's enough. But I really disagree with that.
Yeah.
I feel like diversity in movement is so important for us as like humans in our bodies.
Yeah.
So, I encourage people like, don't just rely on like your yoga practice as your movement practice.
Yeah.
You need to involve like strength training. You need to have some resistance training as well, just to kind of keep giving your body that like evolution to take, and you are going to pick up a heavy bag in your life.
Yeah.
You can't rely on like your body weight just to do that, right?
Yeah.
You need
I'm,
to like
I'm
train
glad
your
you
body.
brought up that holistic approach to yoga, because what I want to ask you about is has it helped your mental health significantly? Have you had like any experience where it's provided a huge aid to you?
So for me personally, like I get episodes of anxiety very often,
Okay.
and like I feel like like everyone else, like in COVID, because of like uncertainty and things
Yeah.
going on. I think all of us have really become very aware of it, because normally we're so busy like going with our lives, we just kind of brush it under. So yeah, I think for me, it's obviously not helped cure it, but I think it's something that I know that, okay, what if I'm getting out, I have like that 1 hour in the morning to me where I'm just doing me. Like
Yeah.
it's my time, it's my me time, and it just grounds me a little bit more.
Yeah. Also, like specifically with the breathing side of things, right? Whenever I teach
Yeah.
people how to brace, I ask them if they've ever done yoga before. Because a huge part of like yoga and like the breathing that goes with it is you push it down into your belly instead of keeping it super tight.
Yeah.
So a lot of people who have anxiety usually end up with like tight shoulders and like they shallow breathing, and that kind of, makes it even worse for them.
Yeah.
So I feel like what has helped me the most when I go through like times of anxiety is usually just directing my breathing
Going
to my
yeah.
belly. And that makes a huge difference
We
in any
literally
scenario.
spoke about this 3 days ago, because I was telling Jay, after all of all of my live shows, when there's super high stress, the one thing that happens to me is my neck is just ruined the next day.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Bro, how are you breathing?" And I was like, "What are you talking about? Like, how is that going to
Yeah,
affect
yeah, yeah.
anything?"
Yeah.
And
I
then-
used to deal with that a lot as well. Like
Yeah.
it'll happen over the course of like 2-3 days if you're like anxious about an exam or like a competition
Yeah.
coming up, and then slowly you'll kind of feel this neck area
Everything.
tighten, and you really just have to draw it down to the belly because you're just
Yeah.
breathing too shallow.
Mm.
And it's crazy. It's helped me so much.
It's so interesting that you brought this up and you've actually experienced it yourself, because a lot of people don't believe that what your breath can do.
Mm.
Your breath,
Yeah.
like the breath work,
Yeah.
can actually be way more powerful than any of the postures or anything else that you're doing.
Mm.
Because if you're doing it correctly, and like if your body is able to kind of endure it and practice it for a good amount of time, you'll see changes much faster.
Mm.
And specifically, like, it's something super interesting that one of my professors used to say, that like whenever your head gets heavy, the
Mhm.
thing that's holding your head is the one that's going to get tight. And that's
Got it.
this.
Yeah,
So it's
that's
like,
true.
Oh, that's a cool. That's a
Yeah,
cool
I
saying.
really like that.
I want to shift gears a little bit. So, if you've watched the show, you know that having said that, we love spotlighting small Indian brands. A bunch of them are on this shelf. And today we're actually fortunate to have someone who actually owns a small Indian brand.
Yes.
Tell us about what's it called, what it is, and just,
So, I'm a co-founder with my partner Aditi. She's a designer. So a small brand which we've just launched this year is called Adikriya.
Mhm. Oh, sick.
And it's not named after the
It's
guy.
not
Just
named
I
after
just
the
found
sound.
that
Yeah,
out.
sure.
Despite what you all may think.
So what we're trying to do is, I think, like a gap that we saw. Like, so she started practicing. She's been like, we've been in college together, and we've known each other for like years and eons.
This is your
And
partner?
My partner.
You
Yeah.
want to tell the partners? So
He just
before,
told
She's
me about
my
this
business
actually.
partner.
when I was talking to Riya before this episode, she kept referring to Jay as, hey, like, what's your partner's name, blah, blah, blah. And then this morning, she was like, so are we picking your partner up? And then I've sensed this thing in her eyes where I thought she thought me and Jay were a gay couple. So I was like, Riya, just so you know, we're not a gay couple. But she was like, no, I didn't think that. Okay, now
I mean,
go on.
because
Come
I
on, calm down,
refer
there's
to
not
my
something
partner
wrong
as
with it.
partner, so I'm very used to like using that term. Maybe
Yeah.
I need to like up my vocabulary.
No.
But yeah, so yeah, we kind of felt like there's this huge gap, and something to like what we've been talking about, like yoga has been misinterpreted for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
And there are so many other practices and aspects of it, like routines, rituals, and like the philosophical aspects of it, which actually help you a lot. And all the problems that we kind of go through today, just sometimes, reading something about what you might be going through, or sometimes like just getting like 1, 2 lines of something that like maybe help you shift your mindset.
Mm-hmm.
For example, if I'm having like a really hectic day and I'm having like back-to-back meetings and I'm like really stressed, but then, for example, if I do pick up one of the Adikriya products,
Which one are we
so I'm going to
talking
start
about?
with this one.
What is that? Can we see
These
it?
are intention cards, yes.
Intention cards.
So what we've done is we've picked up 30 yoga sutras.
Oh, I love the packaging.
Yeah, so my partners designed it all,
intention
Aditi.
Can we read one?
Yeah, please go for it.
Okay. So the first one says, being present. When our mind is wavering and chaotic, do we think of the past, present, or future? Sadness is a manifestation of past memories, and fear is a manifestation of future uncertainties. Yoga is the manifestation of the present. Pause. That's awesome.
So yeah, it's just like food for thought. So like, because I think a lot of us consume so much media.
Yeah.
Like we consume so much information, which is most of the time a lot of crap. So what we want to do is like, if you're going to put information out there, it needs to be something that's actually going to help your mind.
Mhm.
And it's going to help you like center yourself rather than overstimulate you, or rather than like reels which are like 30 seconds, 15 seconds, okay, swiping.
Yeah,
All the products are completely analog. Like even the cards,
I like that.
yeah, we've heard a lot like, oh, why don't you make it an app? But we have enough apps and we have enough screen time.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
we want to like touch, feel, and just actually be as
I
much
like
as we
that.
can.
Yeah.
And these are the second 2 products. So that's Surya and Soma. Do you know what that means?
No.
I mean,
Surya-
what?
Surya is sun.
Yeah. Soma is
Sun.
like moon. It's another word
Moon,
for moon.
okay.
So yeah.
I
you can try-
really like this
yeah.
packaging, dude. Wow.
Yeah, she's a fab designer. She's designed everything.
That so this is
Aditi.
Aditi.
She's Adi of Adikriya.
Oh.
Adi's feeling a little insecure. with his name.
It's like,
Being
oh,
thrown
Aditi,
around.
okay.
You
But I
try one, you
what
try
do I
one.
do?
Yeah, just open
I'll
it
take the
and it's a
Surya.
roll on. So you
Not
put it
Surya?
on your
Okay.
pulse point.
My pulse points?
Yeah, so put it on the base of your wrists, behind your ears, and like just take a few whiffs.
I can just put this directly on
Yeah,
my...
yeah. Roll.
Oh, that's... feel like I'm getting a massage like soon,
It is very relaxed.
Yeah.
So that one, Surya, is like more awakening. So if you smell it, it's more zingy.
Yeah,
It's
no,
like more
she's right
pepper-
Give me a
Peppermint,
wrist, bro.
lemon.
Let me smell you. Oh, okay. This is very different.
Yeah.
Smell this. Right?
So
I
they're
really
called
like this
functional
one.
fragrances. Which
Yeah.
one do you like more?
I like this one.
So that's also
I like
super
Soma.
interesting because so we call them functional fragrances because they serve a function, and
Mhm.
the function is to like wake you up,
Mhm.
and this function is to like calm you
To
down.
calm you down.
So this is for the night and that's for the day.
Mm.
And something super interesting when we were creating these products, like we talk a lot about duality, like sun and moon,
Mhm.
male and female energy, creative and potential energy. So we've noticed like people who like them, we've noticed certain characteristics, which is
Okay.
really interesting. So we've noticed like creatives like Soma more.
That
And
makes sense.
We've noticed like more productive driven people like Surya more.
Okay. Let's go, dude.
Jay, come on.
That's the guy you called Himbo in the last.
Yo, you can be productive and driven and still be a himbo, bro. Like, I feel like
So yeah, I mean it's super interesting. It's just
I really
these
like
concepts
this.
we play
And where can
with.
people find
Yeah.
this?
So we have an online store right now.
What is it?
I mean, we're actually super small, so our Instagram is everything. So I
Okay.
think you'll find a lot of information of how to use the products, what they're made of, what's in it. On adikriya.in, that's our Instagram handle.
Nice.
And our store link is there.
We're going to link her store and Instagram in the description as well. So, guys, check it out and support her.
Yes, please.
Um,
Everything is made in India. These are made in Auroville, actually. They're formulated
Oh.
by an aromatherapist. Yeah.
Jay,
I still love these.
which state?
No, I know that's in the
It's written on the packaging. You check.
Oh, yeah.
So, Riya, towards the end of the show, we like to have our guests contribute something to the
Yes,
shelf.
for
Is there
sure.
something you have or
I think I'm gonna keep the set of cards.
the
Because
cards?
I think that's
Okay.
something, when you're
cool.
like shooting, you can pick up one and read
Yeah,
it. or
definitely.
Can I place it wherever I
Of
want?
course.
Sure.
Gonna put it right in the center. Okay.
Oh, a good product placement. So towards the end of the show, Riya, we like to ask everyone that comes on a particular question, and the game is very simple. We're gonna give you a statement, say having said that, and then you have to fill in the blank.
Okay.
If you've noticed over the past 20 years, yoga is this ancient practice has been somewhat westernized, bastardized. It's gone into fields such as dog yoga. We have like goat yoga.
Have you done any goat yoga?
Uh,
Feel bad for those goats, man.
There's even tantrum yoga, Jay, like where people come and they just have to throw a tantrum.
Yeah, there's just no way that's a thing, man.
So
So pull up
obviously-
some tantrum yoga clips right now.
So basically, this ancient practice has been, completely taken apart, pulled apart. But having said that,
The modernization of yoga is very misinterpreted actually,
okay,
because yoga as a practice is supposed to be adaptable. It's supposed to be evolving. So even though you can't stick to what was ancient yoga, because were you walking like mountains? Were you walking hills? Were you meditating
No.
in nature? Were you eating organic food? Were you were you a shepherd? No, you're not doing all of that right now.
Mhm.
So I think even though we need to come to terms that, okay, contemporary yoga in our times, the way we're living, it needs to move ahead. It needs to constantly adapt and evolve. But yeah,
are you advocating for goat
No,
yoga right
no,
now?
but
Because he's pushing hard for goat yoga.
but I completely agree that we've gone too far.
Yeah.
And I think I think it's become so commercial to the point that I think it's about giving people what they want
Mhm.
rather than what they need. Like, you don't need a goat walking on you. Like, it's not helping you.
Maybe you
I
don't.
think, yeah, maybe.
And I think another aspect of it has come, like, another aspect of why these practices have been so popularized is because a sense of everything needs to be fun and everything needs to be
Yeah.
Instagrammable. And that's the thing. Like, yoga is not always a fun practice. Like, there are times when you'll be crying in a yoga session because you're having a lot of emotional release. So I think we need to take parts of the ancient
Yeah.
and we need to adapt to the modern, but like leave a lot of the bullshit out. And like, I think there definitely need to be some boundaries.
Got it. I like that answer a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah, so I think we need to like kind of give up the idea of things, like doing things just because they're fun and because they need to be Instagrammable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess no one wants to watch you breathe on camera for like 20 minutes straight if that's your workout, right?
For sure. So yeah, it's not always fun and entertaining. But Jay, honestly, like I'm really surprised that because you do a lot with your body.
Yeah.
How have you not dwelled into like this aspect? Okay, you know what? Let's do something. I want you to come up and let's practice a little bit with me. I think both of y'all should practice together. I think it'll be let's make it fun and Instagrammable. Come on. Let's show the people what they want and give them what they want.
This
And
is
let's
a
do it in
real win.
terrible
This is a real.
Okay, so we're gonna now let Adi and Jay give a shot to the Instagrammable fun yoga. So why don't you get on your butts
Okay.
and face each other?
Oh.
Yeah, we'll be doing some partner yoga today. So let's see how you feel about this.
Is this before or after we told you we're not a gay couple? We decided to do this.
This is fine. But I think we have to move a little behind. Sorry. Yeah. Okay, now I want both of y'all. You're basically going to stretch your legs forward. Let your feet, the base of your feet, touch each other's, and hold your hands from the side.
Okay, you might have to move a little bit.
Yeah. A little bit. You need to be closer. Your feet need to be here.
Oh,
Like
so start
in the
with bent
air?
knees. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, and now really slowly, you're going to lift.
What?
Okay, and this is Jay, who spends like 5 hours training or something, and this is the yoga practice.
Take this one up also.
Both need to
Do
move
one at a time.
together.
Yeah, okay. There we go. Other one. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, this is actually
Okay?
pretty good.
And now,
most intimate I've been with you, Jay.
okay, now try breathing here, because nose breathing. And
Jay's a
how-
mouth breather.
I was actually speaking to her
Yeah,
about
he just
this
asked
right
me
now.
about that. Okay, and now slowly come down. Okay, good one. That was a really good attempt, guys.
Yeah?
Yeah. Okay, and now the second one, let's stand up. Okay, now you'll need to face your backs to each other, and you'll need to get close. Legs slightly apart. Okay, also disclaimer.
You know, she said legs slightly
Oh,
apart.
legs slightly.
Legs apart, and also disclaimer, like no one should be practicing this or attempting these without a practitioner or an instructor around there. Okay, bend down now. You can keep your knees a little bent, that's okay. Bend down,
Just
down,
like
down,
that?
just forward bend. No, keep your butts touching, okay? And now, Jay and Adi, get your hands towards each other from the sides. And try to
And
try
what
to
do we
hold
have
your
to hold?
forearms.
Oh.
Yeah. And now, Adi keep pulling Jay, and Jay keep pulling Adi. Maintain your balance. Let your toes be down, Jay. Don't cheat. And these can be a little bent, so you don't strain it.
Okay.
And let your face go between your knees.
What's up?
You gotta get. What's up?
What up, bro?
Live yoga.
We should do the
Okay.
next episode like this.
This is how we should warm up for the show.
Okay, slowly let go of your hands, guys. That's enough.
Aman
come
said, I
on.
hope you guys are watching because you guys are going to do this with us as well.
Yeah, so how you're feeling?
Honestly,
Good. I feel good. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, this was like a glimpse of like what bastardization of yoga, what like I've been talking about. Like,
Oh, so this is
Not actually.
I wasn't acting.
This isn't
Honestly,
actually yoga.
second.
I'm glad
I
you
mean,
told us that before we did it for a warm up for every show. Like,
But yeah, so yeah, this is just kind of giving you a glimpse of maybe fun, but it's not really, you're not being aware, you're not really getting in, you're not being quiet, you're laughing,
well,
you're chilling,
definitely
you're having fun.
Instagrammable though.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is not going to help your mental health, it's not going to help your body that much. So yeah, I think that
was
is it
fun.
for it.
Yeah, that was good. That was
Alright,
good.
guys, this has been the episode with Riya. Please check her out. She's been an amazing
This
guest.
was super fun.
Yeah, thank you so much. Alright, guys, see you on the next episode of Having Said That.
Peace. I'll take the setback. Having said that, if we ever get back, I'll play it off like I never meant that. Having said that, the greatest talk show, man. You already know this is having said that. Having said that. Having said that. Having said that.